everybody. Welcome to the Star Season Lightworkers Collective. My name is Crystal, and this evening we are going to really sort of change things up a bit. Today we are going to be doing. I feel like I'm one of those daytime co-hosts where you have somebody coming in and doing cooking and all that kind of stuff. So it's going to be a lot of fun. But this time around we are having we welcome back Beck Coop to the show, and she came to see us on July 9th, a couple of weeks ago, and we were talking about the Sacred Cacao Ceremony, and we're talking about how she got started and the spiritual aspects of cacao. So usually people, if you're coming in for the first time, this is not some sort of hot chocolate type of thing. No, we are doing something a lot more sacred, and we're working with really raw ingredients, no sugar, no nothing, no processing. It's really done according to the way the traditions are in Mesoamerica, in South America. And today we're going to be having Beck, who's going to be guiding us through an actual cacao ceremony. So last time we talked about it. This time we put the rubber to the road and we really get it done for real. So I actually have, I'm not sure if you can see it here, but I actually have my hot plate here. And I have, I bought a kit from Beck, and so I have my ingredients, and I have a lovely little pot going, and I have my little glass so that afterwards we can enjoy it. So if you were not able to be here last time and you would love to participate, that would be great. You can do so if you have any kind of dark cacao or any kind of unsweetened cacao that you can find, and I guess we have some milk of your choice. I'm using here some almond milk and almond and coconut. And so that's my milk of choice. And so we will get started. We're going to be speaking with Beck, talking about the different ingredients. So if you're coming to the show a bit later and you're watching the recording, you can get these ingredients. You can get a kit from Beck. Actually, she sells the kits, so you can always go to her website. All the links and descriptions are down below. So just do that, and she can give you the authentic cacao, the actual cacao. And you can follow along at your own pace, and take part and do your own cacao ceremony. And basically, the cacao helps us. Well, basically, I'll let Bex explain it, but basically, it is a more spiritual connection that we're looking for when we're using this cacao, and in particular this ceremony. So, without further ado, I'll introduce Beck. Hey, babe, how you doing? How are you?
Hi, dear friend.
I'm fine.
I'm wonderful.
Yeah, I think you need to sort of put your camera up just a bit. Your head is cut off, and oh, there you go. How you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you today, Crystal?
I'm doing fine. I was just sort of it's a bit of running around. It's always before every show. We're always sort of running around and trying to get the ingredients. And this time, because we have the hot plate and we're going to be making a cacao with you, it's kind of wild. But we're really ready to go, and I'm really excited about this whole process because it helps us to sort of be a part of a ceremony, and it's really it's really amazing. So I'm just gonna get actually some stuff moved over here so that we can get started. And can you just maybe talk a little bit about what we're going to be doing tonight? I know we have a presentation, but just as because we're still getting set up. But if you wanted to just let some new viewers who are just who probably were not here last week or last couple of weeks, you can tell them a little bit more about the ceremony and about yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. So, friends, I will give you a few moments definitely to get your hot milk or get your milk heated up. And I'll even tell you what ingredients to go snag out of the cupboard. So I promise we'll get there. So, but first off, hi, I'm Beck Coop, owner of Vibrational Transcendence. I like to dance. I like to play. I like to bring out my inner child, and cacao is one of my beloved medicinal tools that really helps my inner child just be free and to be more creative and more tapped in. And that's one of the reasons why I absolutely love cacao. and it is an honor to share this virtual ceremony with you all tonight. And so basically what's going to happen is I'm just going to kind of go through a little bit of the basic brief history of cacao, some of the medicinal benefits, some of the spiritual benefits, so that we're setting the tone for anybody who might not have had the opportunity to catch the last podcast. And then I'm going to talk you through setting your own sacred space. We'll call in the directions. We'll do a little bit of intention setting. Then we'll make our delicious cacao, and we'll go through a couple different activities together. And at any point, if you do have questions, you can always send them directly to Crystal. She'll be able to pop them up and ask me at the end of the portion. Or if you have any feedback, I can't wait to hear it. But first off, I just really want to say welcome, beautiful souls, and thank you for joining us for this beautiful heart-opening virtual cacao ceremony. This is a different, fun way to connect with people. So thank you for the opportunity, Crystal.
No problem at all. We are just getting this started so we can start your presentation. And as always, this is the joys of going live. You know, you go live and you end up having to always jump through hoops and get everything done. So we're just doing that. And so I know that you sent me a couple of ingredients, and so maybe as things are sort of firing up here, and literally and figuratively, you can just maybe sort of talk. So I'll just show you a little bit what I got from the kit. So I have here, I think these are the cacao. Like these are cacao, right? I think that's it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Those are your tubes of the cacao. And then you're going to have a little mini bottle that has vanilla extract in it.
Okay.
You're going to have another little mini bottle with cinnamon in it. Yeah. Another little mini bottle with cardamom in it. Another mini bottle with some cornmeal. And last but not least, with some cayenne. And we'll go through the reason why I chose each of those ingredients here in a little bit. So for our friends who might not have gotten the kits, go ahead, write down those little ingredients and go snag them at least from the cupboard. And then we can go ahead and, like I said, I'll let you know when to go ahead and warm up your plant milk or your milk, or even just hot water, however you may choose. But again, it's going to be vanilla extract, cinnamon, cardamom, cayenne, cornmeal, and I also personally like a little bit of extra honey because this cacao, as you said, is in raw, pure form, straight from one of my last trips to Nicaragua. And it is raw. It is pure. So what that means is it is bitter. So definitely having the honey as a sweetener is a beautiful little touch. And I'll even show you that for my friends who received the kit, this is a chunk of the big cacao paste bar that I brought home. And so this was literally shaved off with a vegetable peeler with love and then put into those little mini bottles that was sent out in the kits.
Oh, those are so cute.
It comes in these huge bricks when I get it in Nicaragua. Where it's already been the beans that's been roasted and fermented and ground down into the paste. The paste is put into a giant block. And this is all that I have left of one of my giant blocks from Nicaragua.
Wow, that is really
with you, friend.
Yeah, that's really amazing. So I finally have the hot plate, and I also have your presentation up now. So did you want to start with that? And maybe we can sort of look at that and see what we're about. So, and Andy, how do we get the presentation up? Oh, okay, great. Okay, great. Perfect. Okay, so let's get going. So I'll let you go. There you go.
Perfect. So we'll just go ahead and start with a slide that is about the history of cacao ceremonies, just to kind of recap for any of our friends who might not have had the chance to jump on with us last time.
Okay.
So the beautiful thing about cacao ceremonies is They've been traced back thousands of years, and they're most commonly in Mesoamerica, Central America, and South America. And were very common as traditions with the Olmecs, the Mayans, and the Aztecs. The actual theobroma is the main ingredient in the cacao plant itself, and that is what was deemed the nectar of the gods. So it was so special that it was used during times of rituals, rites of passages, times of bringing community together, whether it was for celebration of life, new babies being born, marriages, even different tribes coming together in beautiful relations. Coming over a cup of cacao was always very common. The Mayans used it a lot for gatherings, whereas the Aztecs used it a bit more. So yeah, the Mayans were a bit more social butterflies with it, whereas the Aztecs were doing it a lot more for their interpersonal connection with higher source. So kind of cool to get to see the different reasons that they were doing it.
Okay.
And it was specifically to open the heart, connect with the spirit, connecting with their community, but for inner awakening. And as we kind of talked about earlier, this is nothing like the Hershey bar that you're going to find at the grocery store. Definitely different, bitter, but still beautiful in its own right. So that's kind of the fun of the history of it. And one thing that was really cool that I found out about the history that I really appreciated is that the cacao beans, since they are technically a fruit, they actually, they have an expiration date. So what that meant is even though people considered cacao beans to be used as currency for trade and barter back in the day, nobody could ever hoard a ton of cacao beans because they were meant to be shared. Because if they literally were hoarded, they would expire and not be of any use to anybody. So it was all about actually sharing your wealth with your community. And I think we could take a lot from even just the plant medicine before we even ingest the plant medicine, that how can we share our love, share our connection, and share our wealth with each other? We'd all be a whole lot better off.
I definitely. I think that that is definitely something that we could learn in this day and age, because imagine instead of all the billionaires and the trillionaires having all the money, we could all be sort of, come together as one. I think that's the best. So can we talk about the medical benefits of cacao, if you wanted to sort of just run us through that?
Yeah, absolutely. So, cacao is medicine of the heart, not just from a spiritual perspective, but also from a physical perspective. It is actually known to be a arterial and a capillary dilator. So it's actually opening up your veins and your arteries, allowing the blood just to flow just a little bit easier, which is why you get that little bit of extra energy, is because you're actually getting more blood pumped from your heart to your entire body. So it's also really good because it helps with the bad kind of cholesterol. There's different things that are really beneficial on the way it helps with heart health. But then also it helps with our brain health. It's helping with cognitive support because it's actually it's offering some of those fatty omegas that are helping our brain, and that we need those. But also it has magnesium in it, which is phenomenal for the brain and for your nervous system and everything else. So it also ties into the mood enhancement as our next one. This helps us release the feel-good molecule, the bliss molecule. And what that does for us is, at times it might make us giggle, might make us feel a little more creative, might make us feel a little more sexy time, whatever, anywhere in between. So talk about mood enhancement. I mean, there's a reason why, we like our chocolate.
Yeah,
Come on
exactly.
now. Yeah.
And what's interesting is that when people, of course, we're talking about a much more pure form of cacao, but it's always been associated with sort of like as almost as an aphrodisiac. I don't know if this sort of falls in that category, but it really sort of like, you always have this synonymous with, like, especially during Valentine's Day, you have the chocolates and sexy time. Why not? So it's sort of, it encourages the body and it sort of brings you out. Why not? Okay. So
Yep.
let's
It makes you just tap into that love and feeling, whether that's for self-love and
mhm,
loving on yourself
mhm,
or loving on your partner, but also it just, again, it like really does change some chemicals in your brain
mm.
that make you even look at the world as if you're looking at the world through rose-colored
Glasses.
lenses. So yeah, it's just, it just changes the perspective just enough that you're like, oh, I do want to send good juju out to the world.
Of
I do want
course.
to send good energy. So,
Yeah.
anything that can help put people on that frequency is a good thing.
Perfect.
Um, so yeah, that ties into stress reduction. The happier we are, the less stressed we are. So that's a huge bonus there.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I take it back to cacao is one of the number one. It has the highest amount of magnesium than
Mm-hmm.
any other natural plant,
Mm-hmm.
and magnesium is huge for stress and nervous system.
Mm-hmm.
So it definitely helps take care of your mind and your body.
Mm-hmm.
Then also, it's taking care of our body through antioxidants.
Mm-hmm.
It has 40 times more antioxidants than blueberries, 40
Wow.
times percent more calcium than cow's milk.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we're
Wow.
doing good by eating the raw cacao. And that's
Yeah.
more raw rather than our Hershey's bar. Not
Yeah.
hating on Hershey's, but just saying that the higher the percentage of the cacao, the more
Yeah.
better you're actually doing for your body. And
Absolutely.
that takes us to our kind of final one on the medical benefit. Well, not final because there's lots of medicinal benefits,
Mm-hmm.
but last one I'm covering today is about your GI, gut, and metabolic health.
Mm-hmm.
So, yep, as I mentioned, it's helping the cholesterol, but it's helping your body actually, process and purify and go through your intestines and everything a little more smooth. It allows for your body functions just to work in a little better cohesive balance.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why, there's lots of fun benefits on the medical side. And on the next slide, we'll talk about the spiritual benefits as they relate to your chakras.
Okay, great. Go ahead.
So here, first, we're going to say that we're going to start at the base chakra. So the base chakra, it's allowing us to feel our connection to earth.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to encourage you to get more grounded and feeling rooted in yourself. It can help with your familial relations or any intimate relations with people you care about, but also your connection with feeling connected to earth. But also think about the fact of when we're enjoying our cacao, the cacao came from Mother Gaia. So, any way that we can call her back in is a beautiful thing.
Mm-hmm.
Then the next one is the sacral chakra, as we talked about, the aphrodisiac, feel good, self love, and femininity side of things.
Mm-hmm.
Heck yeah. You might want to get up and dance. You might want to get up and wiggle later. We will have a little bit of movement opportunity.
Okay.
So when you can tap into your body just because it feels good, that's the beauty of the sacral plexus.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, the sacral chakra. Oh my.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's what it is. It's we try so hard to sort of just do this whole perfection thing, and you know what? We just sort of just do it and let it go. We're in Mercury retrograde right now, so Mercury retrograde, we're going to do all these little sort of silly snafus and stuff for that. So we're just going to fly. So people at home,
Yeah. I call them Beckisms because there's so many times I'm just talking my own language and it's a Beckism, so don't mind me. So, sacral plexus, that's our new chakra, okay, friends?
Exactly.
So, but yeah, we'll go back to the solar plexus. This is going to teach us to shine brightly, find find your inner power, stoke that inner fire, and be authentic and be you. So bring on solar plexus magic.
Mm-hmm.
Then the heart chakra, we talked about it literally being a heart opener emotionally and physically, but also just wants you to send love to yourself, but also to the world.
Mm-hmm.
Then with our throat chakra, it encourages communication. That's why you might feel inclined to call somebody and be real chatty after the session today, or you might journal and be, communicating with your spirit guides or your higher self. But it really is all about speaking your higher truth. Then our third eye, it's allowing us to open up our mind to new ideas, visions, and creativity. It can activate the pineal gland. I personally love enjoying some cacao and either going out on a walk and then soaking up nature through my eye, but then like closing my eyes and still feeling it and taking it in, or getting really creative and doing artwork or making jewelry.
Yeah, that's
Those are
pretty
like
good.
some, yeah. So then last but not least is your crown chakra. It's all
Hmm.
about bridging the gap between you, your higher self, and source. Just as they said, the nectar of the gods, it's enhancing intuition. And with that being said, like so much so that they would even give cacao back in the day to people who were being sacrificed because they wanted them to be open in communication with source
Hmm.
prior to meeting source. So
Hmm.
you have to think about how powerful of a plant medicine it is that they literally saw it as being able to be the bridge between heaven and earth.
Okay.
So we get to enjoy that bridge and that gap here
Yeah.
today.
Hopefully without
So
being sacrificed. You know what I mean?
yeah,
We'll skip that part. We'll leave that out. But in terms of the chakras, is it so? Basically, it is affecting each of the chakras, but and at the same time, I'm thinking it must be a great meditational tool as well, right? Because I mean, you take it
absolutely.
in, and I can see how if you're opened up, especially from your crown chakra, that you can sort of meditate and get closer. Now, I'm going to ask a weird question because sometimes when people are doing any kind of ceremony or any kind of work, especially with, like, for example, like plant medicine or that sort of thing, would you say, as a weird question, would you say that the cacao can also speak to you? Like, is there a certain sentience in the cacao? Just because I sort of thought that a lot of the plant medicine, like ayahuasca and all that, that comes from the same area, and I was wondering if it had maybe an aspect of it that was more connected with with a person.
I would say yes. And I mean, it really depends on your personal relationship with cacao. Like, if
Mm-hmm.
you're only just throwing a couple nibs in your smoothie every morning and it feels routine and it doesn't feel special, then your intention is very different behind it. But if
Mm-hmm.
you're doing more of a ceremonial serving size, which is, between 3 and 4 tablespoons to about 3 to 5 ounces of liquid, when you're doing it in that type of a ratio, then you're allowing it to communicate with you a bit more clearly, we'll say. And when I went through my cacao training, one thing that we were encouraged to do was actually to have a ceremonial serving size for 30 days in a row. And what really happened on like during that process was it felt like every session I went deeper. Every session, my meditations got more powerful. Every session, my visions came more to life. And then I started drawing out so many of the experiences, and those really started popping. So I would say that the more that you take the time to connect with it like a friend, the more it's going to connect back with you. But if you're just treating it like a random stranger that you're having a one-off relationship with, you know,
After eating
you're
those
not gonna have
chocolates.
the same value. It's different. We're not having a one night stand,
No, that's what
friends.
I'm
Let's
thinking.
build a relationship.
Yeah, I know, but the thing is that you've had the chocolate, and then now you have the one night stand, and there you go. So,
We got the giggles and we don't even have the cacao.
I
It just means
know,
that the
I
energy is already there.
know.
It's beautiful. We're already playing with her in spirit. Come on, she's
Exactly.
talking. So, yeah.
So, I see here that we in your presentation you want to do setting up the sacred space. Are we ready, or how do you want to do this? I'll let you sort of like guide us through.
Yeah, you got it. So let's go ahead and let's start to set the sacred space just by
Hmm.
taking a moment to gently arrive in your body. I encourage you, if you can, put both feet flat on the ground, straighten up your back, nice and tall, and even just close your eyes for a couple brief moments with me.
Can we do a singing bowl if that helps?
I could do one.
Yeah,
Yeah. Hold on
I
one
have I
second.
have a singing bowl here. That's
I've
one.
got one right here
I
too,
got one.
girlfriend. I've got the heart chakra actually.
Okay,
So, all right. So, here we go. So,
perfect.
take a deep breath in and gently release. And take another deep breath in. And fully release. And one more just like that, all the way in. And gently let it all go. You can flutter your eyes open, coming back to the space. And if you do have a candle or an incense close, or even a sage smudge stick, go ahead, and I would say let's go ahead and light it to just set the sacred space and set the tone. Also, maybe while you're grabbing that, consider grabbing a journal or at least a piece of paper and a pen so that we can have yourself set up for a couple journal prompts that we'll go through in a minute before making our cacao. And just anything that you can do to set up your sacred space just that little bit more. Take this time to consciously do that and do anything that you can to silence your phone or anything else, any other distractions. Set that candle, burn that sage, whatever you might want to do. Just tap into this time and space. Once you feel you've set your sacred space and your sacred tone or the sacred setting, we'll go ahead and we'll flip over to the next slide, and I'll ask you to grab your pen and paper. And I'm going to give you a couple questions to consider before we start our ceremony. And you don't have to write these down in full answers. You can just write a couple words. But why did you decide to show up for this virtual ceremony today? Is it to explore something new? Is it to try to gain more expansion in your heart? Is it curiosity? Whatever it might be, just take a moment and jot down why you decided to show up today. And then next, think about what are you hoping to gain from this experience? Is it new knowledge, new wisdom, maybe some new friends that we're going to be chatting with together in the group chat tomorrow afterwards? What are you seeking from this plant medicine? And then the final question to think about is what area of your life would you like to bring in more loving awareness into? Is that maybe your work-life balance? Is that spending more time with your children or your fur babies? Is that getting out in nature more because you just want to feel more connected with the element of earth? What areas do you want to bring in that loving awareness? And now we'll go ahead and we're going to switch over to the next slide. Just have to give a tiny little disclaimer about medical considerations. So you may go ahead and you can still consume cacao with us tonight if you have any of these situations that I mentioned, but it is recommended to have it in a smaller serving size. The serving size that was sent in the kits is 3.5 tablespoons, which is deemed truly a ritual ceremonial serving size. So if you have a heart condition or if you are on any heart medication, if you are on any antidepressants or anti-anxiety medications, if you are pregnant or breastfeeding or have caffeine sensitivities, I'm going to recommend that you only do between 1 and 2 tablespoons of pure or raw cacao. I would not go the full ceremonial grade just because it can, either with the heart medications, it can kind of allow your heart to go on a little bit of a faster rate. We want to keep your heart in a nice, good, cohesive rhythm. And, you know, with antidepressants, it will actually act like an antidepressant and make you feel really good, but it also might kind of rule out your medication just for about a day. So taking that into consideration for those types of situations. But, you know, if you are pregnant and breastfeeding, remember that many indigenous women back in the day actually did consume cacao while pregnant and while breastfeeding. So again, things in moderation. And if you have caffeine sensitivities, you probably know that. The thing that's nice about cacao versus coffee is the caffeine is different the way that affects your body. You're not going to have the crash and you're not going to have the jitters, but you are going to have some extra energy. So my apologies for doing a cacao ceremony so late at night, because you're going to maybe still be a little jazzied a little
Exactly.
later in the evening, but enjoy your lover or enjoy like fixing that piece of jewelry that you should have fixed 3 months ago. I
Exactly.
mean,
That
put
sounds
your
like me.
energy to good, yeah, put your energy to good use tonight.
Okay.
Um, so we'll next go on to the next slide, and
Mm-hmm.
this is how will we make our cacao. So I'm
Okay.
going to guide you step by step, one ingredient at a time, and with intention and purpose to adding it to your warm plant milk.
Mm-hmm.
So here in just a moment, I'm gonna put on some music in the background, invite you all to go get up, stretch your legs for a few moments real quick, get your plant milk warmed up either on the stove or ideally quickly in the microwave. You're
Okay.
gonna want about 5 ounces
Mm-hmm.
of the plant milk. This
Okay.
is the
So
little,
yeah.
yep.
So basically, because I want to do this with everybody, and so I'd like to sort of, if you can guide me, sort of also as well, because I'm going to sort of get my cacao going as well. So 5 ounces, is that like a cup or something? Is it like a cup or
It's about like slightly a cup and a half.
cup and a half?
Of
Okay.
a cup and a half of liquid. And so it's always suggested to do it with plant milk rather than milk from any animal, because
Mm-hmm.
after all, this is a plant medicine ceremony. So if you do not have a plant milk like oat milk, almond milk, anything like that, then also many of the day back in the day, they didn't have these fancy milk options. So they
Yeah.
actually made their cacao with water, which just made it a bit more bitter. But if you want to go the super authentic route, you can do that as well.
Sure.
So,
So I'll get
and
started so I can show people what I'm doing. So I'm going to show everybody here. I'm going to guess. So we're going to get started with the warming of
oh,
the milk, right? Or
yep, if you just want to warm the milk and
sure.
just for a few minutes, and while people are gathering the other
Yeah.
ingredients, and then also if they have a beverage frother like that you use for your cappuccino or your coffee, strongly recommend grabbing that, because you'll see why in a minute why we'll do that. But if you will wait to add each ingredient one at a time here in just a minute, Crystal, we'll go through it all together, I
Sure.
promise.
No problem. So I've already gotten my milk up there on the stove. So I'm going to get at least the milk is getting started. And then I will let you guide us through. How about that?
Perfect.
Okay.
Wonderful. So I'm just going to put on a song in the background real quick while
Mm-hmm.
I go heat up my milk. It's only going to take just 1 minute, so that'll allow everybody else a tiny minute to get themselves prepped.
Okay.
So,
That's
and
great.
enjoy this song, and I'll be right back.
Okay, great. All right. Well, it's really excited. It's really exciting. We're getting things started, and so I have my almond and coconut milk that I really enjoy, and if you want to be able to do that, you can. So I'll show you again what it looks like. So if you have like a little heater or something, and you wanted to basically get that started, we will have some other ingredients. So here is what the cacao in the little kit that she sent me, and so I have about 3 of those, and looking forward to using that. And then I think this is probably the what is it, the vanilla extract, and I think this here is the cinnamon. So cinnamon, and I know there's, I think, a bit of cardamom. If I'm not mistaken, I think this might be the cardamom. And then we have also some chilies. So the chilies are really, really nice. That adds like a nice, when people talk about Mayan chocolate, they often talk about chocolate with a bit of chilies. And then you have here, I think this was a honey or sweetener that she sent. So we have a lot going on here. And so I think so. If you're ready, guys at home, if you're warming your milk, get that started, and then we'll get to the next slide about how we make our cocoa, and we will let Beck guide us through. Perfect.
Absolutely. So before we actually embark on mixing all the ingredients, one of the final things we'll do on setting sacred space is we're actually going to call in the different directions. So I'm going to be spinning around in my chair to face the different directions while we do this.
Okay.
But first, if you know what direction the south is in your house, please go ahead and face the south.
Okay,
you may
great.
put your hands in the direction towards the south. You may put your hands on your heart, whatever feels most appropriate, but go ahead and eyes closed, hands on heart for a moment as we face the south. To the winds of the south, great serpent, show us the peaceful way to release anything that is no longer serving in this moment. Thank you for allowing us to connect with the great fire element and knowing that as we release things to the fire, they burn away and allow us to rise just like the phoenix from the ashes and new transformation and new birth as we let go and we take in this beautiful plant medicine today. Thank you to the winds of the south. Next, if you will please turn towards the west. To the winds of the west, Mother Jaguar, thank you for teaching us to walk with bravery and courageousness through the great unknown. We appreciate you for allowing us to take a leap of faith and know that we can connect with the element of water, going to the greatest depths, even where it may seem dark, to know that we can re-arise back up to the surface of the water, refreshed and renewed and feeling enlightened, as we allow anything to release through osmosis into the great waters of the oceans. We appreciate you. To the winds of the west. You will turn towards the north. To the winds of the north, to the hummingbird, to those who came before us and those who will come after us. We appreciate you for teaching us how to fly with joy, purpose, and passion under our wings, knowing when to hover and observe, or when to reverse out of situations that are no longer in our greatest alignment. Here we thank you for the connection with the element of air and teaching us to more graciously be able to embrace the winds of change, rather than fighting the storms, learning to go with the flow. We appreciate you. To the winds of the north. We will turn now to the east. To the winds of the east, to the eagle, to the condor. Thank you for taking us under your wing, wingtip to wingtip with the great spirit, as we navigate the element of earth underneath our feet, knowing that sometimes as we are deep in the woods, it's hard to see the whole forest. But we do know that as we look up to the skies and we see our feathered friends above, that we are indeed on the right path, because they see the whole picture with a bird's eye view and are giving you the gentle nod that you are indeed exactly where you are meant to be. Thank you. To the winds of the east. If you'll take your hands towards the sky. Father Sky, Mother Moon, divine source, guides, teachers, past loved ones, thank you all for coming down and wrapping your arms around us as we do the Sacred Cacao Ceremony today. We appreciate you for allowing us to be a safe, sacred time, to honor ourselves, to honor the ancient traditions, and to call in more love into our hearts. We thank you for overseeing and blessing us through this work that we're doing here today. And if you will take one hand down to Mother Earth and touch the floor if you can. Pachamama, Mama Gaia, thank you for keeping us rooted and grounded as we do this work here today. Thank you for also allowing the cacao to rise up from the depths of your core through the soil, surfacing so that all of the different individual hands could bring this cacao to us here in this moment. We appreciate you for allowing us to create our own sacred sanctuary in heaven on earth. Thank you, Mama Gaia. And lastly, if you'll wrap yourself in a big old hug, go ahead and put your arms across your chest and really give yourself a good squeeze. Mm-hmm. Thank yourself for being here today in all of the trials and tribulations that got you to this exact moment. Thank your guides for supporting you, Source for giving you inspiration, your teachers for the lessons, but most importantly, thanking your divine inner self for showing up to do the work and to tap in these sacred moments together for yourself and with community. The light in me sees and honors the light in you. Mm-hmm. Thank you, friend.
Thank you. That's great. Thank you so much. I just wanted to sort of get to some questions and comments here from our audience. So I have here Kelly. And hi, Kelly. How are you doing? And Kelly says, is the 3 jars of cacao already the amount we use for this? Or so we don't have to measure anything, right?
I think. Yes, exactly. So for my friends who got the kit, it is fully set up with everything that you need. So it has everything in there for you in the appropriate serving size. Mm-hmm. For our friends who did not get the kit, I will tell you exactly how much of the additional ingredients to add, mm-hmm. so that we're all on the same page together.
Okay, great.
So go ahead. We will flip over to the next slide that is about our intentional ingredients.
Okay.
So each time I host cacao ceremonies, I like to change up the recipe based mm-hmm. on the intention of the activity and the group and what are we trying to put out to the collective. Mm-hmm. So for today's recipe, I went with one of my classic elemental blends. So first, that thing that we are going to add to our sacred cacao is go ahead and snag your cinnamon, friends. Okay. So we're going to take our cinnamon and add that to your warm milk.
Okay, so I'm going to show people at home how I'm doing it. So let me just take a look here. So I have my cinnamon. I think this is my cinnamon, right? For me there.
Yep, it sure is. Yeah. And so for your cinnamon, friends at home, you're thinking about half of a teaspoon to a teaspoon. Depends on how much you love cinnamon. Mm-hmm. Cinnamon is all about abundance and prosperity. So I say game on. Bring on the extra cinnamon.
So guys, if you're bearing with me, I'm just going to put my cinnamon in my milk here. And I love cinnamon. And cinnamon is so healthy. For the body, and I absolutely love it. So do we stir things around or do we wait first before we...
We wait till the end.
Okay, great. Okay, perfect.
I got you. I promise.
You got me.
I got you.
You got it.
All right. Next, let's grab cayenne. So for my friends with a kit, that is going to be the mini bottle that has the least amount in it, because cayenne, you will taste it, you will know it, you will feel that kick of fire in your mouth, mm-hmm. which is why we are calling on the fire element. So go ahead and tap in that beautiful, lovely cayenne.
Okay,
and
great.
The ones who got the kit, it is extremely potent cayenne. That is directly from my friend's garden. And yes, it is very, very hot.
Hot.
Yeah. All right. Next thing we are going to grab is the cardamom. So that is going to, if you have the kit, it looks a little more like the gray colored
powdery
spice.
Thing. I think this is
exactly.
Yeah.
Yep, exactly. And so that is approximately about a half of a teaspoon of cardamom that we are adding. Mm-hmm. Cardamom is going to be calling in the element of the earth. Okay. It has a nice citrus smell. It also has kind of an earthy flavor and taste. So that's why we bring in that. Next, I love honey.
Mm-hmm.
Bring on the honey.
Yeah.
So, honey is all about connecting us with all of life. Without the
Mm-hmm.
birds and the bees, we wouldn't be here today.
Mm-hmm.
So, we have to thank our sacred little pollinators for bringing this another nectar of the gods to
Mm-hmm.
us.
Okay.
So, I like to add honey a little bit liberally because, again, it's bitter. So, add as much honey as you want there,
Yeah.
friends.
So I'm going to just sort of do that. I have my little spoon here, so I can just sort of spoon a little bit more out.
Yep. Just like how they say, salt and pepper to taste, I'm going to say honey to taste.
Honey to taste. There you go.
Yes.
All
All
right.
right. Next little mini bottle that my friends are going to be snagging out of the kit is the liquid, and that is your vanilla
Mm-hmm.
extract.
Okay.
And so we're adding this to be reminded that we need to have sacred balance in our life.
Mm-hmm.
So often when we think of cacao, we think of it being dark. And
Okay.
when we think of vanilla, we think of it being light.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to encourage us to find the balance within ourself of our divine feminine, our
Mm-hmm.
divine masculine, but also let's honor our divine inner child because
That's
that's what
great.
I'm all about.
That's it.
So, yes,
So I'm
yes,
gonna
yes,
add
yes.
my vanilla here. So
Beautiful.
vanilla's great, and it's so warming too. Eh? It's like it warms you
Mhm.
up. That's great. I love that.
Well, and
Okay.
it's like very sensual. It's very
Yeah,
like and
especially when you have a
it's
candle.
also just it's meant, yeah, I was gonna say like they put in so many candle scents. It's meant to make you feel good. It's meant to make
Exactly.
you feel warm and cozy on the inside.
Mm.
All right, so next thing we're going to be adding is cornmeal. So
Mm-hmm.
that is going to be your spice in the kit, friends. That looks a little more yellow of a powder.
Mm-hmm.
The reason why we are adding the cornmeal is to connect us with our ancestors. Corn and cacao were two of the most popular crops back in the day that were used for barter and that were used for all of their life purposes. So by honoring and adding the cornmeal, we're thanking the previous ancestors who came before us. We're also thanking our current version of ourselves and even future generations to come. So think of this as just cornmeal as our bloodline all the way back. And then we had the plant milk. And when you think of milk in the mother, you think of literally being raised by your mother on breast milk. So it's literally meant to take you back to your connection with sacred mama. But also, it's our water element because it
Mm-hmm.
is our liquid of the mix. So that is why we have the plant milk or water, whichever you might have chosen today. And then
And I just
last
have
but
an
not least,
the
yeah,
cacao. But before you add it, I do have an interesting question from
yeah,
someone. Somebody said
please.
here because I just happened to choose a Pyrex dish that I'm using
Hmm.
here, and somebody said. It says here, Crystal, is that a Pyrex bowl on a heat warmer? Is glass a cleaner than a metal pot over the stove? I don't know. Does that make a difference? I just honestly did it just because that's what I had. But I think what they're asking is if they need if it makes a difference, maybe spiritually speaking, to have Pyrex as opposed to metal. Sometimes people say
It
once you.
doesn't. It doesn't change the intention because really it's all about the intention that we put behind everything. So, I would say that I would prefer that everybody's doing it in glass or metal rather than plastic.
Okay.
That would be my, love disclaimer for the world.
Mm-hmm.
But no, it does not change your intention because, back in the day, there were many times that the cacao was heated up in a metal type of tin over a fire.
Mm-hmm.
Here with modern technology and everything, we do things more in glassware or even possibly like a porcelain cup. So I would say your vessel is not as essential as your intention is.
Okay.
So,
Great. So,
all right.
what's next? So now we're going to the cacao, I think, right? I think that's our next
The
thing.
star of the show.
Okay.
Yes. Star of the show. So let's go ahead and toss our cacao into the cup.
Okay.
And well, the cacao, we had already mentioned so much of the
Mm-hmm.
magic that is involved with it and its benefits.
Mm-hmm.
So, next, for my friends who got the kit, You should have a handy dandy little frother that I sent you.
Okay.
Friends who hopefully have one of these at home, or if not, maybe get a small whisk. And we are going to be the element of air ourselves. So we are going to stir up the cacao and all of these ingredients in our hot milk. It will allow the cacao to melt. It will allow the ingredients to mix.
Okay.
And we're just going to go ahead, and I like to stir it in a clockwise. I cannot talk. Clockwise direction. Oh my!
I'm still struggling with my cacao. Don't worry about it. I'm still kind of struggling with my cacao. I think it's because it's very warm, and I think that some of it probably got a little stuck. So I'm just going to just finish that off here. So bear with me, everybody. I just have my little cacao here, and I'm going to put that through. I had to, thank God I had my little spoon with me. And
here's my cacao. I'm pouring it into a beautiful little handmade mug straight from Nicaragua as well, just for nostalgia's sake for myself.
So I spin it clockwise, I think. Is that what I do?
Yeah, I like to stir it at least 3 times going in the clockwise direction.
Okay, great. And I can just put on the blender thing, like the oh, there it is.
Yeah. And friends, I'm going to ask anybody who's making this at home is please wait before we consume our cacao, because we're going to do a little bit more before we actually consume it.
Okay, great. There we go. This looks, I'm telling you, if you could smell this, wow, this smells really, really good. It's a good quality cacao that I think you've provided us. This cacao is really, really good quality. Really, really nice. Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, and some of the other benefits, it's high in copper and iron. It helps improve our blood flow everywhere. Lowers blood pressure. It's pretty awesome. So, all right, friends. So hopefully at this point you have your cacao prepared. So we're going to go ahead and take a moment of gratitude. So what I like to do is I like to bring the mug and press it against my heart.
Okay.
And allow my heart to start connecting with my mug and with the cacao prior to even consuming it.
Okay, well,
so let's find a moment.
I'm going to grab mine and put my mug. I'll put some in my mug here. A little bit left there. It's great.
Perfect. So let's just take a moment to find gratitude for all of the hands that it took to get this cacao to us today. And for our beautiful dear friend Crystal, who brought us all here today on this live stream of a culinary ceremony. And thanking yourself again for showing up for yourself to maybe something new that you've never tried before. And as you have it here in front of your heart, see if you can even feel your heartbeat on the other side of the mug. Really even just slowing down for a moment and connecting with the cacao before it hits your lips. And then we'll go ahead and we'll cheers each other on the screen, Crystal.
Cheers.
Cheers, my dear friend. We'll go ahead and take our first sip together.
Okay.
So yummy.
Wow. That is absolutely yummy. Guys, I'm going to put the material for the ingredients in the description below, but I can tell you, this is so good. This is so good. This is really something. Yeah, I can totally feel how something like a drink like this can really, really not only warm you up from the inside, which it does. I mean, it's a warm drink, but also just the spices. And just the taste. Like, I mean, I don't know if it's just me, but I just find that it's the type of cacao. Like, again, we're not hating on Hershey, but having a Hershey is not the same as having this. This is absolutely, bar none, a really, really, really good drink. And I can totally sort of see, drinking this and then feeling, in like really just sort of like in its a warm embrace. It's just absolutely incredible. Oh, my God.
Well, and that's why they call it mama cacao. It's meant to feel like a warm embrace, a warm, loving embrace. And, Bless my boyfriend's heart, he is not a fan of the bitter, real deal stuff. So,
Okay.
like, when we all host cacao ceremonies at home,
Oh,
he'll do it with a pack of his Swiss mix hot cocoa
okay.
mix, but he'll still add all of the different ingredients with intention. And
Okay.
we still pretend it's the same, you know? I mean,
Mm-hmm.
intention is everything, but if you
Yeah.
can have the real deal, go for the
Yeah.
real deal.
I think you need to raise your camera there, Beck, or when we come back. There you go. There you go. Now we can see you. So we want to see you.
Perfect.
Perfect.
Yeah.
And so we are drinking. Are we supposed to sort of say a prayer as we're drinking this, or how are we approaching this as we're drinking this?
So right now, as we're taking these first couple sips, we're going to
Mm-hmm.
switch over to the next slide, which are
Mm-hmm.
some journal prompts.
Okay.
So I'm going to go ahead and read these questions out loud. Again, ask you to just jot down a couple words, the first few words that come to mind.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, I'm going to guide you on a heart opening guided meditation as you continue to sip on your cacao. So the journal first one of the prompt is, if I could let my heart speak freely to me right now, what would it want me to know, feel, or release? And then the next prompt is, imagine yourself in 6 months from now, fully aligned with your intentions from today. What does life feel like to you? And what guidance would your future self share with your present self in this moment? And just go ahead and take a couple moments to jot down those notes while gently sipping on your cacao. And I'm going to go ahead and begin to invite each of you to go ahead and gently close your eyes and take a deep breath while you're holding your cacao and slowly release it, feeling your body soften into the space beneath you. And go ahead and pick up your cacao and bring it to your lips and take another sacred sip of the plant medicine. As you do this, allow it to go over your whole tongue. Feel the texture. Notice the different flavors of each of the different ingredients as you take sip after sip. The goal is to gently be done with your cup of cacao by the end of this meditation. It's not a rush, but go ahead, and as you do, bring one hand to your heart and feel its gentle rhythm. Imagine that it is a steady drum and realize that it has carried you through every single moment of your life up until this point. Thank your heartbeat. Thank your whole cardiovascular system for working in its own perfect way to keep you alive and to keep doing exactly what it needs to do so you can shine brightly into the world. Go ahead and take another sip. And with your next inhale, I want you to imagine breathing in a warm golden light. Let it fill your chest with love and compassion. And as you exhale, imagine any tension gently drifting away and allowing any heaviness to soften. As we are here, feel that warmth going from your heart out to your inner circle and to your family, sending love to each of them. And then feel your heart expanding a touch more as you send out love to your community. And imagine on your next breath, you're expanding even further out to all the people in your state. And on the next sip, all of the people in your country. And on the next sip, all of the people on this beautiful globe. And imagine how good it would feel if they were all sending that kind of love right back to you. And now visualize your heart as a beautiful, radiant flower maybe a rose, maybe it's a lotus, or any blossom that speaks to you. And with each sip of the cacao and each breath, gently envision it opening one petal at a time. As you feel the gratitude for this moment, for this sacred plant, and for the miracle of your own beating heart, go ahead and take another sip. And take one more deep breath, filling your whole chest and heart space with light and love and energy. And as you exhale, gently whisper to yourself, I am open. I am love. I am present. Taking another deep breath. And when you're ready, we can gently open our eyes, taking a slow, mindful sip of the cacao and getting ready to finish off your cup so we can invite in a little bit of movement and play into our session today. You know me, it
I
wouldn't be a
know.
little bit of a dance
Of
party if it
course.
wasn't.
Of course.
Mm.
I can't, honestly, if you have a chance to do this ceremony, maybe some people I think I know were saying in the chat that they weren't expecting it and all that. And I know that some people have maybe missed the first video or first session. So go back and look at that. And then on your own time, take the time to use this particular recording as a way to do the cacao ceremony. So you don't have to sort of rush around now. It's being recorded, so it's great. So you can take the time that you need. And if you want, you can order the kit from Beck and go on her website and order the kit. If not, you can use your own cacao, preferably more better the better, bitter. So less, a bit more than 70%, I think, right? I think 70% or more would be better. And to just follow along and to use the ingredients that are there. And you know what? I know some people say it's bitter. I don't find it bitter at all. I think that the amount of honey and everything I think is perfect. And it's, I find that the flavor and the essence of the cacao that Beck sent really, I find, really encourages you to sort of look at it from a more spiritual perspective as opposed to, let's say, having like the Hershey's and, it's more of a mouthfeel, more of the sugar. And this is more, I find that the taste is very rich and it's deep and it's very, very meditative. I know it sounds kind of weird, but it really is. And it's just the right amount of bitter. It's not bitter,
Mm-hmm.
but it's just the right amount. It's sort of, so you're more focused on what you're doing in terms of drinking it, as opposed to just sort of getting a fix and getting a mouthfeel and getting like a high with the sugar. So very, very highly recommended. I have to say, very, very much. And I have a little bit left over, so I'm going to have some after. But it's really, really
Yes.
good. Thank you.
Well, and Crystal, what specific ingredients spoke to you the most? What just really popped on your palate when you took
Well,
your
actually,
sips of cacao?
you know what? When
Minus the cacao.
I guess, well, the cacao, yes, definitely, because it's so rich and dark and deep. But really, what got me was actually I could taste the cinnamon, and I'm a bit of a
Yeah,
cinnamon girl. And I also like the vanilla as well because I think the vanilla gives it a bit of a body and soul, if that makes any sense.
hmm,
I really, really, if we're
for sure.
talking just as strictly the taste, that's what really appealed to me while doing this ceremony. And I know that we're doing a show, and so we're busy talking. But if it were up to me, this is the type of thing that I would do if I wanted to just have a ceremony, have the cacao quietly in a corner, and then just sit back and relax. And I could really sort of feel it, working on me internally. So that's really kind of cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I
Yeah.
mean, well, and for me, it's like the cayenne is like I
Yeah, the
always
cayenne.
notice the cayenne like going down my whole throat, and I feel it like literally warming my heart space, and then and then I start to feel
Yeah.
the fun bliss
Yeah,
molecules busting
exactly.
out. So
Yeah.
yeah. So next we're gonna do a little bit of breath work.
Okay.
And this breath work is just going to really kind of help the cacao go through our system.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, we're going to stand up and do a little bit of connection with each of our chakras.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll kind of start to wrap some things up after that.
Sure.
So, for the breath work that I would love to encourage us to do is I'm going to explain the sequence first, and then I will coach you through it as we do it.
Mm-hmm.
So I like to put one hand on my chest, one hand on my belly. Does not matter which one you want to do. Many people often like doing the left hand on the heart. It's connected. They believe that there is the vein that is connected to
Yeah.
your ring finger all the way straight to your heart.
I think it's the
So
Egyptian concept of yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So I personally like left hand on the heart, right hand on the womb, or belly space. And so what we're going to do is we will inhale for 4 seconds, and then we will do a slow, gentle exhale for 6. The whole point is that our exhalation is meant to be longer than our inhalation because that's what allows our nervous system to come back into coherence. So I'm going to go ahead and I will put on just a little bit of quiet music in the background, and then I will coach us through doing the breath work.
Okay.
So, all right, my friends. So let's go ahead and with our hands on our heart and our belly, we're going to go ahead and inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhaling for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Gently inhaling through the nose. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhaling out the mouth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're going to do a few more sequences just like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhaling. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhaling. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale one final time. 1, 2, 3, 4. And gently exhaling. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Gently allowing the body to come back into its natural rhythm and regulation on its breathing. You can feel your heartbeat. Notice if you've softened anywhere in your body. Maybe your shoulders dropped a little during that breath work. Maybe your heart shined a little more forwards. Just feel the difference in your body between before and after doing that intentional breathing. And next, we're going to wiggle and we're going to move.
Okay.
So let's go ahead.
Okay,
I just
great.
can't wait. So, friends, when you're ready, we're going to go ahead and have you stand up and get some blood pumping back through the rest of the body. So, first, we are going to connect with our root chakra, our base chakra. So, you can either stomp your feet, or you can go ahead and just move your hips from side to side. I'm going to toss on some other fun little music in the background while we do this. And go ahead and just feel your feet on the ground. And imagine that connection to Mama Gaia, as we said, underneath your feet earlier. And feel the connection to her core, to her earth, while you sway from side to side. Just feeling that connection, and visualize a red light. Next, we're going to go up into the sacral chakra. So we're going to go ahead and bring our hands to our hips, and let's gently move our hips in circles. You can start first going counterclockwise. Maybe do 3 rotations, and then go ahead and rotate clockwise, 3 rotations. Feeling that serpentine energy moving through your body, opening the belly, opening side to side, visualizing an orange light. Next, we're going to go ahead and bring our hands to our mid-belly point. Here, let's go ahead and tap on our belly and feel the stoke of our inner fire happening here. We're going to go ahead and twist from side to side, maybe even opening up the arms, feeling the gentle rotation in the midsection. Imagine that you're wringing out your internal organs like a towel as you twist side to side while visualizing a yellow light. Next, we're going to bring our hands to our heart. Start seeing a green light wrapped all around you. And then let's go ahead and open our arms wide with palms to the sky. And go ahead and bring in that energy from the universe and hug it into your heart. And then scoop it down from the earth and pull it up into the heart space. Reach up to the sky and bring it down into the heart space. Really feeling your heartbeat again in this moment. Next, we're going to bring our hands up gently and stroking our throat, gently lifting our chin, giving ourselves kindness here in our neck area. And go ahead and roll your neck all the way around, just like we did with the hips, going 3 times in each direction, and then rotating back the other way 3 times. Imagine the space around your throat opening up and seeing the color blue. Then next, we're going to bring our energy up to our third eye. We're going to gently tap on our third eye, visualizing an indigo light. We're going to go ahead and pull our third eye open with our fingers, gently pulling them across your forehead. And then go ahead and use your finger and do the figure 8 symbol, the infinity symbol, over your third eye, believing that you are in tune and open to infinite possibilities, far beyond what you might have ever imagined, and opening that chakra. And then lastly, we will reach our arms to the sky, look up and feel the purple light coming down from overhead and slowly pulling it down over the crown of your head and down your whole body, nice and slow, over the lips, the throat space, the heart space, the mid-core, the low abdomen, and keep taking that energy all the way down to your toes, nice and slow, very slow. And then begin pulling that energy back up from your toes, very slow, all the way back up to the heart space. And when you get back up to the heart space, we'll go ahead and pause here with your eyes closed for a few moments as we do one more visualization. So as you are here with your eyes closed, go ahead and take another deep, intentional, nourishing breath. Feel it fully coming in and gently, slowly release with an exhale. As you bring your awareness to your heart space, it feels warm and vibrant from the cacao and the breath and the movement. And I want you to imagine that there's a soft golden light glowing within your heart, just like a candle flame. With every inhalation, see that glow getting just a little brighter and feeling its warmth just a little more. With every exhale, feel it expand beyond your chest, filling your entire body with this warmth. As the light expands, let it hold in all of the things that you are grateful for, the people you love, the lessons that have shaped you, the simple blessings of being alive in this moment. And with every beat of your heart, this golden light begins to radiate beyond your body, reaching out to fill your entire room, filling your home, filling your community, and rippling out to the entire world. Feel yourself connected to all of the other fellow friends and starseeds on this call who are on here with us live and who will listen to this later. Feel the frequency of love and gratitude pulsing through your veins. Let's take a few more deep, slow, intentional breaths. Letting the gratitude flow through you like a river through your heart. And when you are ready, bring your hands to your heart in a final prayer position and silently whisper to yourself or out loud, thank you. And thank Mama Cacao. And thank the love that is behind it all, connecting us all. And then gently open your eyes, carrying this expanded heart with you into the rest of your day. So now, if we can, I would love to open it up to any. On the next slide is our Q&A page. And I would like to just ask if anybody would like to share anything through the comments, if anything came up during the first meditation, the second meditation, the breath work, or the movement, or if anybody has any extra questions.
Yeah.
But also a gentle reminder too is take some time for yourself afterwards. Be sure to give yourself time to, continue to connect with yourself or to journal or to even maybe go outside and get grounded and put your feet on the earth. Connect with your loved ones, whether they are, in human form or fur baby form or whatever it might be, just get your loving on, friends.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, let's go ahead and dive into the questions that might have came up.
Yeah, sure. Well, we have here Mac Mac saw that I was struggling with the cacao because, like I was saying, it was very hot and here in Montreal, and I think the chocolate got a bit stuck. So he said, "Get a skewer and poke it out." And so that's sort of what I did. I took the end of the spoon and I was just sort of like poking it out, but it came out. And it's absolutely delicious. Like I said, I have some left over, so I'm going to indulge afterwards. And then I have here David M. And he says, does it matter if the cinnamon is Ceylon or Cassia? Do you know if that makes a difference?
I would say it doesn't make a difference, but again, just like how cacao should be ethically sourced, so should your cinnamon, because cinnamon, unfortunately, there's a lot of false cinnamon out there.
Okay.
So, I personally like getting some of my sacred spices, especially if they're going into spiritual ritual blends.
Mm-hmm.
I like to get them from places that I know are like ethically supplying them and getting them from
Mm-hmm.
the right people, the right sources, the right locations in the world, and treated with the same love and care, because you have to think that every ingredient that you ever get from the grocery store carries its own different frequency. It's
Yeah.
even like honey. Honey, you should technically only ever use wood when you are getting honey out of a honey jar. That's why they always have the little wooden spindles with honey, is
Okay.
because actually, when you get honey out of a jar with a metal spoon, it changes the alchemy and the energetics of honey. So, in order to keep your honey's frequency as pure as possible,
Mm-hmm.
only use a wooden spoon. So,
Okay.
again, intentional
Wow.
ingredients, just like also another thing with honey. I personally always like getting my honey
Mm-hmm.
specifically from the area that I'm living in, knowing that the honeybees are soaking up the like pollen in my local area, because
Okay.
I get really bad seasonal allergies. And
Mm-hmm.
the more honey I eat in the springtime, the less or the easier it is to navigate my allergies.
Okay, wow, I did not know that. But definitely about the honey when it comes to using wood. I did not know that. It's funny because I always said, why do they always have this little wooden thing with like the slats in it? I never understood that. Now I know, I learned
Yeah.
something new. Okay,
Yeah.
great. So I have here Kelly Wacker. I think Kelly really enjoyed it. She says here it was very rich with some spicy kick. Definitely. And of course, this is to taste. So, I mean, go ahead. I mean, personally, I would have had a lot more spice, but that's just me, like it's spicy. And I was saying before, when they talk about Mayan, or I don't know if it's sort of like a Western sort of take on it, but when they say Mayan hot chocolate, is that because it has the spice, like the cayenne in it? You know what I mean?
So often, like, yeah, like a Mexican coffee or like a Mayan coffee, for instance, is
Okay.
often enhanced with a lot of cinnamon, spice, and cacao. So, like, anytime you hear some of those different types of blended beverages from those areas, yeah, it's often not just coffee, not just cacao. There's definitely the spice and the heat going in. And, again, you kind of think just like how we added the cornmeal, peppers are very much a lot of that culture and those crops in that area. So they were used to eating spicy things in the raw, but also cooking with it. So that's why it was a very common ingredient that you saw
Okay.
in the blends.
Okay, great. And I have an interesting question here from Mac. Mac asks, why do you think ancient medicines and traditions are forgotten, almost forbidden in society today? Well, I mean, it's a very wild question, but like it's a good question, and I
Yeah.
think in many ways it does reflect a lot of what we're talking about. In addition to the ceremony itself. But did you want to sort of take a crack at that one, Beck? Did you
Yeah.
want to?
I mean, so, sad to say that I feel like there's a lot of things that, whether it's governmental restrictions or religious oppression or different things that have been really pushed on our society to keep us in more of a controllable mindset rather than being free thinking and expansive. I think a lot of these types of ceremonies were probably hushed or shoved aside and not really empowered as much, because ceremonies like this and this exact type of plant medicine and others open you up. They open your heart to expand your love and to drop a lot of the fear and to want to help the community, and they open up your third eye out of this tunnel vision of what we see on the news and what we see on TV and like what we're being forced to understand, and what they want us to understand. Well, if now we're ingesting something and we're feeling like we're talking to our higher self or we're talking to our spirit guides or God, that seems kind of hard to control, I mean, so I think, unfortunately, I don't want to play conspiracy theory, but I do think that to some extent, some of these ancient traditions have, number one, not been shared enough and passed down with the generations, because I think some of the younger generations don't have the same appreciation as they might have had for the
Mm-hmm.
plant medicine in the past
Mm-hmm.
because our world and technology and everything is so different than it was in the past.
Yeah.
So I think some of the traditions have been lost just with time and with the change of life.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think that some of them might have been hushed or kept more quiet because, again, like they didn't want us expanding our hearts and expanding our minds.
Mm-hmm.
And, so I love the fact I'm seeing more and more cacao ceremonies happening all over the country, honestly, because
Mm-hmm.
it's bringing people together in a heart space community where it's how can we support each other?
Yeah.
Like, that's the best case scenario. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
like, and it makes us all stronger as a collective
Mm-hmm.
if we are working together and believing that our brothers and our sisters are equally as valuable and that we want to take care
Mm-hmm.
of one another, that makes us a stronger unified force, which makes it a little scary for those in charge who
Yeah.
want us scared and individually isolated, to be
Yeah.
real.
And
What are your thoughts on that, Crystal?
yeah, well, I wanted to sort of add a little something to that because I know that last time when we were talking, and we were talking about, we actually went upon that topic about like, different traditions, and I think I'd asked you that as well. And I know in my own research, a lot of the different pagan traditions are making a wild comeback. Like people, and I mean, look, there's nothing wrong with being a Christian or the foundation type of religions, but paganism is exploding. Is just really,
Yeah.
and I don't think it's because people all want to be pagans and run around and do that. I think what's happening is that people want a more visceral, a more connection with nature, more connection with something outside themselves, and it's not to poo poo any other religion, but with paganism, you're being brought out into nature, you're being brought out into the elements. And I think that people are also recognizing the importance of the environment. And the environment plays a very, very important role in the future, but also in terms of the resurgence. So, Mac, you're asking a question that I think, and I understand what Becca's saying. She's saying that, some of the young kids don't follow the traditions. But I would almost disagree with that because I think that a lot of people, and it's not to sort of disagree with what you're saying, Mac, Beck, but I'm just saying that a lot of people are actually becoming pagan. They're doing like, is it not the statistics where they ask people questions and the religion, and that is the fastest growing religion. So it means that people are really, really, looking for that, and they're looking for a connection, and they're
Yeah.
looking for something different other than a patriarchal just read the pages and shut up and follow along type of situation. People want to have a more, and I think it also brings in the sacred feminine as well, because the sacred feminine
Yeah.
is more about working with the heart, and the masculine, which is good. I mean, we all need a sacred feminine and masculine. Like I said on the show, time again, it's not that man bad, woman good. That's not it. It's about the fact that it's bringing it into balance, and whereas sometimes the masculine can be a bit more cerebral, the feminine is more heart centered, and it brings people in it, and it's learning how to connect with other people from the heart center, because that is really where we get most of the biggest vibration is from our heart, and that's what is being heart centered and heart smart. And also, I'd also like to add that I think that there are actually a lot of young people that are into paganism. This is you see a lot of the young kids out there now really getting into the paganism. And I know back in my day, I mean, I'm not going to say how old I am, but I mean, back in my day, there was, a couple, it was like always sort of like, the few people here and there that would talk about it, that would do any kind of, pagan or Wiccan type of tradition. And now it is just absolutely everywhere. It doesn't matter where you go, you have like different types of covens and different types of people really exploring that. And also, I think that one of the things that's also been very popular is plant medicine and, doing
Yeah.
travels with ayahuasca. That is, I never heard of that back in my day.
Yeah.
Never
Oh,
heard
yeah.
of it. And now it's like I meet many people actually who said, yeah, I've done traveling with ayahuasca and have, done some shamanic work. And so that's a very, very big thing. And actually, a lot of scientists are also working with that as well,
Yeah.
because it's opening them up to different aspects of understanding. Did you want to comment on the plant medicine aspect as well, Beck?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely agree. I feel like, and when I said like I guess that the young kids kind of
Yeah,
let go, it's interesting because I feel like I'm in agreement with you for sure
yeah,
that especially this newer younger generation
yeah,
is all about it. But I feel like there were maybe a couple generations where
absolutely.
there was a bit more of a gap
Yes,
between the desire and the traditions.
absolutely.
But what to me, like even when I first met cacao in this lifetime, it felt like a remembrance.
Yeah.
It felt like a bringing me back to the medicine.
Okay.
So, although it was a brand new experience, it was like my soul was longing for it, maybe
Mm-hmm.
from past life
Mm-hmm.
experiences that made me desire to even seek out that opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and I feel that's the same with other plant medicine is
Mm-hmm.
that plant medicine offers so much different medicine knowledge, ancient wisdom, but also that like pure connection with higher self and with source. And, while it has become very popularized in a lot of ways, it's also like medicinal mushrooms are
Mm-hmm.
becoming, actually like decriminalized in a
Yeah,
lot of places. Like where
absolutely.
I live in Michigan,
Mm-hmm.
there's a city where not only is it decriminalized, but
Mm-hmm.
they're sold in the
Yeah,
dispensaries. I know
absolutely.
other places
Yeah.
it's becoming a lot more acceptable, but
Mm-hmm.
also, like you said, there's been so much extra research that has
Mm-hmm.
been done by like top Harvard and Stanford and all
Exactly.
these like amazing people, John Hopkins. I mean,
Yeah,
like it's crazy cool when you read the LSD files or you read
exactly.
the like there's even a book called the Spirit Molecule that's all
Mm-hmm.
about DMT and it was a phenomenal book if you ever want to learn about that plant medicine. I mean,
Yeah.
so the fact that these things are finally like, once taboo, but now are dinner table
Mm-hmm.
conversations
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
is just showing the progression of our brains, the
Mm-hmm.
collective
Yeah,
consciousness, but also our heart's openness and like we're dropping judgment because we're
mm-hmm.
curious.
Yeah,
We're
exactly.
asking we're asking people questions who have done the different plant medicine.
Mm-hmm.
We're asking people who have gone on these meccas and these journeys and these pilgrimage, was it worth it to you?
Mm-hmm.
And when they share their life bending, mind altering experiences, I mean, it's hard to put words on those. And it's
Yeah,
also hard to replicate those. And so
exactly.
that's why plant medicine is so special is it takes you to a place that nothing else synthetic can take you.
Exactly. And and it's exactly, we're both on the same page. I think we're looking at it exactly the same way. And I actually know someone who his mother is we were talking about John Hopkins University, and his mother is having some issues with like Alzheimer's and different things, and they're talking about microdosing. Microdosing
Yeah.
with micro mushrooms is becoming a very, very interesting topic because and even my partner here, he did a paper on 19th century mental institutions and different types of medicines, and those medicines were chemicals, and they really, really damaged the brain. They really, really damaged the individual. It took literally taking the soul out of the body. And what microdosing does, I think, is that microdosing really helps to work with the mind in a way that is not destructive, but it's also natural. And yes, it is a potent form, so it's microdosing, but
Yeah.
but it seems to be getting a lot more positive results. I think
Yeah.
that using the standard 19th century type of like institutional medicines and stuff like that, where they're just there to just sort of numb you and keep you quiet, the microdosing allows you to go inside, but microdosing also works at a medicinal level, like literally at a medicinal
Yeah.
level, where it helps your brain to it maybe sort of helps the brain to develop more and to help with the damage that some people can experience with the brain. So microdosing, I think, is going to be something that we're going to be seeing a lot more of. And like
Yeah.
you said, depending on where you live in the world, some places have it decriminalized and different levels. But it's something that I think is going to be a lot more. I was having this conversation with someone, my osteopath, the other day, and I says, we talk a lot about big pharma and all that, and how it's becoming, well, especially in the United States, because that's sort of the big hot topic right now. But like, how Medicaid and different types of health options are being taken away. And I always say, pull back and look at the bigger picture. The bigger picture here is that instead of taking the chemicals and all that, and let's say you can't afford it,
Right.
But if you can afford to get some microdosing and work with that and work with, different lifestyle changes and work with like supplementation and work with plants, and plant medicine doesn't have to be ayahuasca, but plant medicine, meaning working with plants and herbs to have a better approach. Maybe this is a good thing. Maybe this is a part of, the crumbling of big pharma when they take it away. And people can't afford it, and people have to look for other alternatives. That's going to shift our consciousness, because instead of sort of going, by rote and just saying, okay, I just need to take a pill, we can now work with plants, and that's what people were doing before. And getting back to the idea of Meso-American shamans, they've always been working with plants, and that's how they worked.
Well, and what's beautiful about it too is the fact that, like, I literally saw something today on a new study that said that one even micro dose of mushrooms has lingering effects in your body on the dopamine, serotonin, and like endorphin levels for up to 3 days.
Okay.
You can't take one antidepressant or one anti-anxiety pill and expect it to work for 3 days.
Yeah, at least not with side effects.
Yeah, I mean, but by doing one micro serving of mushrooms, it can have these types of beautiful qualities and effects for up to 3 days. I mean, that's profound.
Yeah.
And often you will see like chocolate in combination, cacao, chocolate in combination with mushrooms.
Yeah.
And it's because of the different fats in the cacao.
Exactly.
They're actually helping to complement the way that your body takes in the psilocybin.
Yeah.
So, they work hand in hand. And, I'm a huge advocate for microdosing. But I also think under the right setting and the right space with the right healer or whatever you might be doing,
shaman,
like if you do a higher serving size, that one dose can change your life.
Absolutely.
Like, I know the very first time that I did mushrooms, I remember the next day being like, the world looked different. I saw the color spectrum of everything different. I felt like I saw the genuine heartbeat and the pulse in the trees in a way I had never appreciated before. I saw just a different level of beauty. And I feel that cacao does that as well on its own by itself, but in a much more subtle perspective. But combine the two and you go on a fun
Oh my God. That'd be one hell of a trip. But like, I mean, of course, and I remember last time we were talking, you were saying how you did it for 30 days straight, and by the 30th day you were feeling much more like, wow, this is more intense. So I mean, tonight was a nice way to sort of have an introduction and to sort of work with it, but obviously you're not going to maybe get the same kind of as feeling as you would with after, let's say, 30 days, which would going to be like take you to a whole other planet. So like, I mean, that's a whole other thing. And I think also with the psilocybin and all that, it not only helps in terms of your brain and your connectivity, but also it affects other parts of your body. And that's the thing about plant medicine that is so incredible, is that instead of, let's say, for example, with big pharma, where it causes all these side effects that are negative, you end up getting effects from the mushrooms and different plant medicine that is positive. And so, like you're saying, seeing different colors, or feeling better, or seeing the trees breathing, that's a connectivity that people used to have back then, and that's not the kind of connectivity that we have now with religion. We don't have that kind of connectivity. You know what I mean? So it helps in that sense. And I just wanted to sort of also go back. I have Kelly Wacker who says, in my visions, I'm seeing a beautiful, warm, and peaceful violet light flame, or violet fire. That's really nice. Way to go.
Saint Germain. Saint Germain with a violet flame. Yes, that is sacred healing. That is beautiful. That is like known as the violet ray. And that is profound. The violet ray and the violet flame is something that I have seen in other profound visions as well before I had awareness of what it was, or of what ascended masters it was connected with. and I kept seeing this violet flame over and over again in different
Oh,
visions, and actually in cacao visions.
okay.
And I started drawing it out like more than once and was like, what is this beautiful violet dancing fire?
Okay.
And it literally is just all about like
Mm-hmm.
it's calling on your own healing to be able to share your healing gifts as a
Mm-hmm.
service to humanity. So
Mm-hmm.
like the violet flame is powerful. The violet flame is like, please, Kelly, go check out Saint Germain and the Violet Flame,
Yeah.
my friend. And there's
Mm-hmm.
meditations on it. There's even sacred frequencies and
Mm-hmm.
set to it. So like, and
Mm-hmm.
Kelly, I have your contact information, girl. I'll send you some fun
All
stuff on
right.
the violet flame.
That's great. And also, Kelly, you can check out the Summit Lighthouse as well. The Summit Lighthouse has a lot of decrees, and that's with Elizabeth Clare Prophet on that one. So you can sort of check into that. And I have another comment here from Mac. He says here, not trying to generalize my experience, but I feel like nowadays men are more in touch with their feminine side and women are more in touch with their masculine side, which I find is explorative. But in the same thought, is there a masculine or feminine side, or are we just one within ourselves? Well, I'll take a crack at that, and then if you want to sort of chime in there, Beck, please do. I hear what you're saying, Mac, and it's interesting because I think that humanity has been on this whole big exploration of itself. And we had, at one point, we were very much into the sacred feminine. And in the last 2,000 years was the departure from that, going into the masculine. And sometimes, and for the most part, the masculine was interesting in a sense that it got us to move further ahead in terms of technology and medicine and all that. But it also took us away from our hearted centeredness, which is very, very feminine. And so I think what's happening now is that we're just sort of coming full circle in many ways. And because we've seen both sides, we can now integrate both sides into ourselves. And so in that sense, I think that yes, we are technically, because we all have it. We all have the sacred feminine and the sacred masculine. It doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman. And the quest, especially at this point in time in human evolution, is to integrate the two and to have them balanced and to use both of them for what your needs are, and to not feel that you have to be one or the other. Yes, men obviously are men and women are women, but we can both, meet in the middle. I don't know. What do you think, Beck?
I totally agree with where you're going on that.
Mm-hmm.
I do feel that we have a divine feminine and a divine masculine side, but also, as I mentioned, the divine inner child. But at the same time, too, I agree with you that it's more about how can we integrate the two within, or the two, three within us,
Mm-hmm.
so that we are more complete within ourselves, so that we are not seeking someone who is overly masculine on the other side or somebody who is
Exactly.
overly feminine,
Mm-hmm.
because the more balanced we are within ourselves, then we're not having to fill the gap with somebody
Exactly.
else.
Exactly.
And so, if anything, it's like how can we find our own inner harmony of all aspects of ourself, the giving and the receiving, the nurturing, but also the provider. I mean, look at how many super moms are these like super badass,
Mm-hmm.
like single parent moms
Mm-hmm.
who are having to fill the role of a mother and a father, just like
Mm-hmm.
my mom had to.
Yeah. Me
I
too.
mean, some of these people are thrown into being forced into try to balance those roles,
Mm-hmm.
not even by their own choosing, but like had some of them had the opportunity to do some of this balance and this blended work on themselves before being thrown into a situation like that, it might have made that situation a little easier on my mom raising my brother and I as
Mm-hmm.
a single parent.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I think, like you said, is there's been such a big shift from patriarchy to starting to shift to the softer, more feminine, nurturing side of things. We're seeing a lot of things that were formerly that are unjust crumbling
Yeah.
because the nurturing side is like, enough is enough.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
can't allow this to happen anymore. We're not
Mm-hmm.
going to sit here and be silenced and hushed anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Like, women are no longer afraid,
Mm-hmm.
which is beautiful. Like, and it's sad that either side was ever afraid for any reason, for
Yeah.
any amount of time. But I
Mm-hmm.
feel like people are coming into their own more and more. But
Mm-hmm.
I feel that they're coming into their own because they're coming more into integration and
Exactly.
balance with themselves
Yeah.
and with their world. They're
Yeah.
finding their balance of them with their exterior world as much as it's important for them to find it with their interior.
Yeah, 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 absolutely. And I think that it's also because the energy on the planet is changing that we have to change as
Yeah.
well. And so we saw a lot of the sort of extreme aspect of the masculine aspect. And I find that when, for example, when I was drinking the cacao, I felt much more integrated. I mean, I don't know if it's just me, but I felt much more sort of like, ooh, I sort of just came together. And the cacao was very, very interesting in that it helped me to sort of come to that sort of realization. I mean, I know about it, but like when it's sort of you drink something and it sort of brings you within, I find that the
Yeah.
cacao ceremony was very, very interesting in that. I have another comment here from Kelly Wacker. She says here, yin and yang balance or feminine make balance. Law of one, we are one. Absolutely. We are one. And
Agreed.
yeah,
Agreed. So all of our brothers and sisters, we are one. We bleed the same.
yeah.
We breathe the same. Our hearts beat the same. Like, unless you're alien, hey, but we wouldn't hate against you. We want to be open. Come on now. But no, for real, like, yes, I couldn't agree more. And I think the more that we get into the we are one mindset, the stronger we will be as a collective.
Exactly. And we have another comment here from Mac. But in the same thought, are we just one experiencing both sides of ourselves? Absolutely. And you know what that
Mhm.
is that we have been in a this creation, this idea of in this universe, we came into this particular universe to experience duality. And in
Yep.
experiencing duality, we were cast off into a masculine and feminine, and we had to experience both sides. And that's what I was saying. For example, throughout history, we've had aspects where we were much more closer to the feminine and the feminine goddess.
Yep.
And then in the last little while, in our own collective memory, we are now sort of more into the masculine and into the cerebral. And so,
Yep.
yes, it has brought technology and has advanced us in many ways, but now we're going to be able to use those advancements and to have it more with a veneer of the feminine aspect, which I think is very, very powerful, and also brings us back into balance. So, yes, we are at a spiritual level experiencing different sides of ourselves, and in some ways, we can
Mhm.
also be our own twin flame because we are experiencing either side. So
Yeah.
that's pretty. I think that's pretty powerful. But I really feel that, guys, if you have a chance, use this video to go through the ceremony yourself. And you know what? And what's interesting is that you can continue to just use this same video. And
Yeah.
and then tomorrow we're going to be having our discussion group, so we'll be able to talk about it even more. But we are going to be talking about that. But, use this time to come within yourself and use the cacao ceremony to as a meditation tool and as a way to connect with yourself at a higher level. Why not?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's good. Did you want to tell us anything more about some of the stuff you're working on, Beck? I don't know if you're, tell people a little bit more, especially for people who weren't here the last time. Tell us a little bit more about your dance and some of the stuff that you're doing with your website and what are you up to?
I'm up to all sorts of fun,
Mm-hmm.
silly stuff. I actually had a fabulous cacao ceremony this past Friday
Mm-hmm.
with 22 participants that all dressed up as fairies.
Oh, sweet.
And I hid fairies all over the forest. And so they went on find the fae scavenger hunt
Mm-hmm.
and literally like did inner child dances and then went frolicking through the flower fields and collected their own lavender.
Oh, nice.
We've got like an event coming up in a couple weeks that is focused on aliens, actually.
Oh,
And
okay.
we're enjoying Blue Lotus tea for that one. So
Okay.
opening our third eye and intuition and our cosmic connections.
Yeah.
I like to create safe, sacred spaces for people to come together and have those interesting conversations that they might not be able to have at the dinner table with others, and
Okay.
to allow there to be safe spaces. I do virtual ceremonies, I do virtual one-on-one sessions. If you're anywhere near the Michigan area or want to be, August 22nd through 24th, myself and two other beautiful practitioners are hosting what's called the Gather and Ground Retreat. It is a weekend long retreat, camping in the woods, that is everything from yoga to cacao ceremony, blue lotus tea ceremony, ecstatic barefoot dance parties, to foraging and culinary workshops and ancient oxymills. I mean, it's a ton of fun. You can find out all the information on my website. I'm excited to do another two-part series with you, Crystal,
Yeah,
around
absolutely. Yeah,
on
about
the
the blue
topic of Blue
lotus.
Lotus.
Yeah. You want to tell us a little
Yeah,
bit more
so
about that?
so we're gonna do it in a two-part sequence, just like this. So we'll do the first podcast on the history and the benefits of Blue Lotus, and then the second one will be a ceremony, just like this, where I will send out the kits again, and also know that these kits are made with lots of love and intention. So the kits that were received for the cacao ceremony included all the ingredients, a journal, a candle, a pair of earrings, and some other little special things. So, like, it's more than just the ingredients, friends, and also anybody who purchases the kits also do get a free one-on-one or a 30-minute free oracle reading with me that we
Oh,
schedule afterwards. So that's kind of a fun little added bonus.
okay. That's nice.
And I'm working on the second book. I was involved in one collaborative book before called She Grows Stronger, and that is a collaborative book with 32 other powerful women sharing their stories of resilience. And I'm working on two other books that are going to be solo self-published, and I can't wait to share those with the world.
Absolutely. We'll have to come
So,
back and share that with us,
yeah,
you know?
lots of
Absolutely.
fun stuff. But
Yeah.
tonight, like, what I was thinking is I pulled a card for the collective that I would love to share, and then kind
Sure.
of give a final affirmation,
Yeah.
close out the directions, and then
And there
kind
you
of
go.
call it a night.
All right.
So
Cool. So I'll let you do that.
cool. So this is the card. If you can see it, I know it's a little tough with.
Oh, no, no,
Oh my. Okay. We'll just say it looks like the beautiful
no.
cosmos.
Okay. Well, what does it say at the bottom, though? I think there was something at the bottom. If you can sort of just pull out the card, like pull the card back a bit so we can read what it says.
Yep. If
Oh,
does that one.
Hiraeth?
Hiraeth.
Hiraeth.
Yep.
There you go.
And at the bottom it says longing for home, homesick for the stars. So I specifically chose the star-seeded oracle deck. And so it says Hiraeth is a Welsh word that is difficult to translate, but it refers to a certain longing for home or homesickness, a yearning for home or a place which we cannot yet return. This inexplicable, unshakable longing for home is common for star seeds and old souls, and you may have had it since birth. Sometimes there is a distant memory of a different planet, galaxy, or star system in the universe that your soul remembers and yearns to return to. It may be a place that you've experienced more than Earth, and for others, it might be the longing for the unity with Source. It's allowing you to remember your interconnectedness to all of one. This yearning can sometimes lead star seeds to travel to certain corners of the planet to find physical places that feel more like home, or guide them towards different experiences that take them home within themselves.
Okay.
For others, it may manifest as a need to find home in people,
Oh.
communities, and relationship. And it can also be a journey to find somewhere where you feel you truly belong. If you resonate with this yearning for home, but you don't know where home is, you're being invited to remember that your soul chose to come to Earth. You are being called to fully commit to embodying to your life here and now with your heart forwards and compassion up front. You are being reassured that you didn't come here alone and that your soul consciously decided to have this experience in the human body on the planet at this time. You are being called to anchor your presence, your personality, your soul, and your spirit in the here and now to live committed fully to this life, to commit yourself by putting both feet fully in. And the question is, how can you commit more fully to your life here and now?
Okay. Well, I think you knocked the camera, so we can't see you. I think, oh, there you go. Yeah.
Sorry.
So I think that is really, really interesting, and it really does give us food for thought, because there are a lot of people who are watching tonight who are starseeds and light workers, and some of the things that we've explored on this show over the last couple of months is that people are starting to remember their past lives. They're starting to remember planets that they came from. They're starting to remember lives that they had in different worlds. And I think that there are a lot of old souls who've been looking for connection. And a lot of people who are here have hopefully found it with us. So we are one big family. We are one, right? And we are definitely a family of light workers. And you can find your place here with us as you explore other aspects of your divinity and other aspects of your cosmos nature. So I wanted to just
love
say,
it.
yeah, exactly.
I love it.
Yeah.
So if I can have everybody put their hands on their heart for a final affirmation and have you repeat these words with me after me is, may your heart remain open. You're sorry.
Whoops.
Your spirit remain nourished.
Oh, I think we lost you there.
Oh,
okay, there you are. It's Mercury retrograde, folks. So yeah, you want to just try that again, and then we can sort of see you.
Yep. Okay, so sorry about that.
No worries.
Okay. Haha.
There you go.
All right.
Now we have you.
So, okay. May your heart remain open. May your spirit remain nourished. And may your path be filled with love and your inner child full of giggle, laughter, and cacao from tonight's beautiful ceremony.
Oh, perfect.
And last but not least, just as we started with the closing of the sacred directions, we'll just close the directions to wrap up tonight. And from there, we'll be good to go. So if we can start in the same direction as the south, as we started before.
Yeah.
So
can I do a, can I just do like a quick singing bowl just to sort of bring us into alignment with that? Okay. So I'll do about 3 chimes, and then we can use that to call in the different corners.
Beautiful. Thank you. To the winds of the south, great serpent, thank you for showing us the peaceful way to shed and release our skin and anything that was no longer serving us today during this ceremony in this time and space. We thank you for allowing us to connect with the cayenne and the fiery elements from our cacao today, allowing us to feel that fire within ourselves, knowing just like the phoenix, we can transform and be rebirthed as well when we trust our fire and our inner passion. Thank you to the winds of the south, to the west, to the winds of the west, Mother Jaguar, Thank you for teaching us to walk with bravery and courageousness through the great unknown, but also thank you for allowing us to connect with the element of water, the water that pumps through the blood in our veins, through our heart, and through our whole bodies, but also goes to the depths and the cores of the earth, allowing us to also come back up to the surface, refreshed, renewed, and with a brand new, lighter perspective. Thank you to the winds of the west, to the north, to the winds of the north, to the hummingbird, to our ancestors, to those who came before us and those who will come after us. We thank you for teaching us to fly with joy, purpose, and passion under our wings, knowing when to hover and observe the situations, or when to reverse out of things that are no longer in our highest alignment. We thank you for allowing us to connect with the element of air and embracing the changes of the winds rather than fighting the storms as we previously had, learning to go more with the flow, just as the mini but mighty hummingbird. We thank you to the winds of the north, to the east, to the winds of the east, to the eagle, to the condor. Thank you for taking us wingtip to wingtip under your wings and allowing us to fly high with a great spirit and source above. Thank you for allowing us to know that as we are connected to the element of earth and walking through the forest, that when we look up to you, we know that we are indeed on the right path as you give us the gentle nod from the skies above, telling us that you see the whole big picture and we are exactly where we are meant to be in this present moment. We thank you to the winds of the east and to the sky. Father Sky, Mother Moon, Divine Source, Ascended Masters, Guides, past loved ones, and higher self. Thank you all for being here during these moments that we shared here together on this virtual ceremony, but also in the days and weeks ahead as they come and as the visions continue to flourish through your waking reality and your dream space, allowing your heart to remain this expanded, full of love, compassion, and joy for all. We appreciate you for allowing this sacred time together, virtually, to connect with people across the globe, bringing us together on one screen, feeling as if we are all one and not that far of a distance from each other, making that distance literally disappear. We appreciate you for bringing us together as a powerful collective in the here and now. And down to Mama Earth. Pachamama, Mama Gaia, thank you for your beautiful fruit and live and labor that came up from your core. Thank you for being the great alchemizer and teaching us how to release what no longer serves us, but knowing that as we release it into the core of your earth, that you will compost it, recycle it, and allow for new gardens to pop up and flow abundantly, serving and nourishing our beautiful community and all that live within your planet. Thank you for allowing us to create this sacred heaven on earth during this moment here and now. And if you'll wrap yourself in one old big final hug, my sweet friend.
Yeah.
I am so grateful for each of you, and I'm wishing all of you only the best now and always. May the light continue to shine forwards from your heart. Let your wings spread wide. You fly to your greatest dreams ever imaginable. And let you just continue to be the beautiful shining star seed that you are. With nothing but love and gratitude from me to you. I see each of you. I honor you. I respect you. And I wish you only the best. With nothing but love from me to you.
Thank you
In the
so
heart chakra singing bowl.
Thank you so much, Beck. Thank you so much for being with here tonight. And thank you for everybody for attending tonight. And I know some of you didn't because you weren't here for the first section, you didn't know, and then I know some people were like, oh, I didn't know. But you know what? Like I said, keep using this video as a way to enjoy this ceremony, and you can always get in touch with Beck at her website. All her information is listed below, so just get in touch with her. And in a couple of weeks, I think, when we're doing this, we're doing this in September or something. The Blue Lotus, that's in September or October. I can't remember. I don't have it in front of me.
October.
It's October.
October.
Yeah.
Yep.
So if you want to be around, guys, see us in October for the Blue Lotus. It's the Egyptian Blue Lotus. And we're going to be doing, again, a similar ceremony, so you can always participate in that one. And I just want to say thank you, Beck, for this lovely ceremony. I really, really appreciate it. I love it. You do such good work, and you have such good vibes, and love you so much. You're the best. And I'm really looking forward to working with you again in October. And good luck with your other programs that you have coming up. So I'm really glad that things are working really well for you, and you're enjoying your new house. How's the new house going? You're liking it? Yeah?
It's coming along. It's really coming along. So thank you so much.
No problem.
I look forward to chatting with you and anybody else who jumps on our discussion call tomorrow night. And just thank you again for this opportunity, Crystal, to not only connect with you again on a beautiful, deeper level, but also my fellow star seeds. And I see you all. I appreciate you and I honor you. And thank you, thank you, thank you. From my heart to yours. My heart is so full and happy.
Thank you. Me too. I'm so full and happy, and that cacao ceremony was so good. So thank you again, everybody, for being with us tonight. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. It really helps us a lot. And give us a like and a thumbs up. So we hope to see you again next week. And again, if you have any questions for Beck, just get in touch with her on her webpage. And we look forward to seeing you next week. So take care. See you soon.
Bye, friends.
Bye. That was great.